It has been said that there are more animals that have already gone extinct compared to animals that still exist today. Many of these extinct animals disappeared only recently, and we are fortunate that footage of them still exist. Today we will be looking at 5 rare videos of extinct animals. Make sure you stay tuned till number 1. It is a tale that will sure tug at your heartstrings. Number 5. Tacopa pupfish. Pity the poor Tacopa pupfish. It led a dog's life in this world. It never grew to more than an inch or so, had a lifespan of only 2 years and spent them in the steamy, salty waters around Death Valley. The tiny creature had endured since the Ice Age in quiet anonymity, and now it has gained its first, and last, headlines. The Interior Department announced that the Tacopa pupfish is the only animal ever removed from its 15-year-old endangered species list by reason of extinction. Along with the brontosaurus, the saber-toothed tiger and the passenger pigeon, the Tacopa pupfish has vanished forever from the face of the earth. Number 4. Quagga, a type of zebra from South Africa whose stripes faded below the neck. Once thought to be a separate species, scientists who have performed DNA analysis on zebras now say that the quagga is a subspecies of the plains zebra. Why the quagga is lost? Large-scale hunting in South Africa in the 1800s exterminated many animals, and quaggas were hunted to extinction in the late 1800s. They were valuable for their meat and hides, and people wanted to preserve the vegetation quaggas fed on for domesticated livestock. In addition, few people realized that the quagga was distinct from other zebras and needed protection. The last wild quagga was probably killed in the 1870s, and the last captive quagga died in an Amsterdam zoo on August 12, 1883. Number 3. Passenger pigeon. The extinction of the passenger pigeon is a poignant example of what happens when the interests of man clash with the interests of nature. It is believed that this species once constituted 25 to 40% of the total bird population of the United States. It is estimated that there were 3 billion to 5 billion passenger pigeons at the time Europeans discovered America. One of the last authenticated records of the capture of a wild bird was at Sargent's, Pike County, Ohio, on the 24th of March 1900. Only a few birds still survived in captivity at this time. Concerted searches were made and rewards offered for the capture of wild passenger pigeons. From 1909 to 1912, the American Ornithologists Union offered $1,500 to anyone finding a nest or nesting colony of passenger pigeons, but these efforts were futile. Never again would man witness the magnificent spring and fall migratory flights of this swift and graceful bird. Attempts to save the species by breeding the surviving captive birds were not successful. The passenger pigeon was a colonial and gregarious bird and needed large numbers for optimum breeding conditions. It was not possible to re-establish the species with a few captive birds. The small captive flocks weakened and died. The last known individual of the passenger pigeon species was Martha. She died at the Cincinnati Zoological Garden, and was donated to the Smithsonian Institution, where her body was once mounted in a display case. Number 2. The Pyrenean ibex, also called the bucado, was one of 4 subspecies of the Spanish ibex. Endemic to the Iberian Peninsula, male ibex were known for their large curving horns. The surfaces of the horns were ridged, and experts believe that the male ibex grew a ridge a year with the total horn corresponding to the ibex's age. Female Pyrenean ibex are said to have looked very similar to female deer. Definite reasons for their extinction are unknown, but hunting had continuously shrunk the population over the past 200 years. Experts also suggest that introduced species such as domestic goats, cattle, and horses contributed to the decline. The last bucado, a female named Celia, was killed in 2000 after it was hit by a falling branch. Since Celia's death, scientists have been working on a cloning experiment in hopes of restoring the Pyrenean ibex. Using frozen skin samples taken from cilia in 1999, scientists made more than 50 cloned embryos by inserting the ibex's DNA into empty domestic goat eggs. Only one was carried to term, and it lived only a few minutes. Number 1. Northern white rhinos. They are the second largest land mammal and their name comes from the Afrikaans, a West Germanic language, word white which means wide and refers to the animal's mouth. Also known as the square-lipped rhinoceros, white rhinos have a square upper lip with almost no hair. Two genetically different subspecies exist, the northern and southern white rhino, and are found in two different regions in Africa. As of March 2018, there are only 2 rhinos of the northern white rhino left, both of which are female. They live in the Ol Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya and are protected round the clock by armed guards. Their extinction was due to decades of rampant poaching for rhino horn.